The market needs a little bit of a rest. Doesn't mean the market is a short everything tomorrow. No, that's not what we're saying. That's not what I'm saying. The market just needs to digest this recent run up.
Welcome to Access a Trader, the #1 community for those who are committed to taking control of their trading in order to achieve success, profitability, and longevity. Thank you for joining us. Here's Dan Shapiro to help you find your edge, master your process, and own your future.
Hey everyone, good evening everybody. Welcome to Tuesday's edition of the AccessATrader.com nightly wrap-up show. Hope everybody is doing well. So again, you had a lot of aggressive moves today. The market, again, when I speak the market, Qs continue to build over the 50-day moving average. We talked about key levels that the market kind of needed to reclaim. It did. It surpassed it. It got a little bit rejected now. And if you look at the scoreboard and you do your research tonight, you go through a lot of charts, stocks just look tired. And again, it doesn't mean that we're going to go down and we're going to retest lows. They're just tired. Like a fine wine, when you open up the bottle, you got to let it breathe, right? You can't just open up a bottle of wine and start chugging. You got to let it breathe. And that's what the market is right now. The market is a fine wine. It did absolutely amazing for the last 4 or 5 days, 6 sessions ever since they reclaimed the 50-day moving average. And now is a perfect opportunity for just a nice step back and rest. Doesn't even mean the market needs to go down. It just means the market needs to breathe. The market needs to rest. The market needs to kind of reset its thoughts a little bit before you start going into the sweet spot of holiday season. And when you look at tonight's earnings, you're probably going to get a reflection exactly what I'm talking about. So let's kind of rewind. You had Netflix come out with earnings after a big 125 point run up. It did absolutely nothing the next night, right? The sellers were very comfortable in the stock. They sold it off 6, 7 points, 8 points, not a big deal. The next day, the buyers came back. They engulfed all the selling. Netflix had a big run. After the close, I believe Goldman Sachs downgraded Netflix after the close. I'm pretty sure I saw that. And again, I don't think it's going to mean anything one way or another. But again, here's a perfect example. The market might need a little bit of an excuse to kind of rest a little bit. The next day, you had Tesla, right? Tesla was down 6, 7 points after the close, after a 150-point run-up, yada, yada, yada. We all know what happened with Tesla after that, right? Delayed reaction, exploded for the next couple of days. Again, we'll get to the individual pivots in a second. And this is kind of where you get to all the names, or at least the majority really big names that reported today. AMD had a phenomenal run, right? Absolutely phenomenal run. The 50-day moving average was the catalyst, went on a big run. After the close, the stock is literally flat. Literally flat. This is how you know the sellers are very comfortable with what's going on. Again, if this was bad earnings, or this was horrible, this was sell the news, then AMD would have been down 10%. It's not. It's literally flat, which basically says, again, the sellers, just like we saw in Tesla, just like we saw in Netflix, they're comfortable, right? The sellers are comfortable, and now the market just, again, some stocks might need a little bit of rest. Again, unchanged, right? Microsoft had a great quarter, had a really great quarter. If you look at Microsoft, literally it's up 20 cents from the close. Again, sellers are very comfortable, which again shows us there may be a little bit of a buyer's tiredness, right? A little bit of a buyer's strike. But again, it doesn't mean the market's going to go lower. The market just needs, again, like fine wine, it needs a little bit of rest. You look at Google. Look at the run Google has had just in the last quarter, right? Just a monster run. Had a big run recently. The stock is down, what, 20 points after the close, a $2,700 stock. It's absolutely nothing. So the market is very strong. This is a good opportunity. And I think all of us kind of understand this. The market needs a little bit of a rest. Doesn't mean the market is a short everything tomorrow. No, that's not what we're saying. That's not what I'm saying. The market just needs to digest this recent run up. It needs to kind of circulate into other groups. And again, will there be strength tomorrow? I think so, right? There's going to be strength as long as we continue to build above the 50-day moving average. You're going to have a lot of strength and a lot of weird names. And again, we'll get to some of the names that I kind of like for tomorrow. But you're probably need a day or two of digestion. Even the most aggressive bull will agree that, again, you can't have a scenario of a linear move too far, too fast, again, unless you're talking about Tesla. And we really need a good couple of days of digestion, maybe have Wednesday digestion, maybe a little bit of Thursday digestion, start looking maybe for some aggressive call buyers to start stepping in midweek of out of the money, near-term expiration calls, and then you kind of light it up again going into next week. Again, you still have Apple on deck, you still have Amazon, you still have what else do you have? Amazon, Apple, NVIDIA, Roku, all that good stuff, right? You still have a lot of meat left on this technology bone, but the most important part is just like driving, right? We talk about this all the time. Just like driving, once in a while, you have to let go of the gas. Let things simmer, let things breathe, let things play out, let some rotation go into some other groups, and kind of scale back a little bit until you get aggressive day going forward. Now, again, would I be surprised, like really pleasantly surprised, if we had another aggressive session tomorrow in technology? Yeah, I kind of would, because if you go through your charts, right, and again, every single trader should, you have a lot of names that are just resting, right? A lot of names that are resting, a lot of names that need a couple of days to relax, like we just kind of previously talked about. And the most important part is, again, going into tomorrow, yeah, there's definitely some names I like. There's a lot of weird groups, a lot of names I usually probably wouldn't look at, especially if technology is strong. But again, sometimes, again, you get the market that you have, not the market that you want. And in that, again, it's not necessarily a market that we don't want. It's just a market that I believe, if you go through a lot of charts, are just tired. That's it. Just tired, needs a couple of days to relax. So maybe tomorrow you don't want to drive in the most aggressive gear. Maybe cruise a little bit, right? Maybe cruise, maybe sit on the sidelines, maybe scalp tomorrow some names. There's definitely some names, a little bit of value, but again, I would be pleasantly surprised if we do have one of those scenarios that we have a very, very aggressive session for tomorrow. We'll get to the names and a couple of names that I like for tomorrow. Let's talk about some pivots for today, right? Again, what are you going to say about Tesla? This is a stock that right now it's just an unbelievable runaway train. It really is. And this is a scenario right now that everybody has realized for years and years and years. When I talk about Tesla as my favorite stock, it's my favorite stock for a reason. And I think a lot of new traders, they woke up to the fact that Tesla's $1,000, almost $1,100 a share this morning and said, "Ooh, look at Tesla, it's going to the moon." Yeah, it already went. That's the whole point. And this is a phenomenal stock. And even Tesla needs a couple of days break. But if you look at the option activity into the name, boy, oh boy, again, millions and millions of dollars worth of out of the money calls coming in, short-term expiration. We saw 1100s, we saw 1200s, we saw 1800s for leaps. We saw just a lot. So again, one of those scenarios, Tesla needs a break. But here, again, here's Tesla for experienced traders only. 1025 needs to build. Any stall out, obviously get out at that level. Also, if they pull, watch for the 95 rebound. Here was Tesla right from the word go, right? They opened its stock down, 5-6 points. And here's the 1025. You see this whole channel here, right? The more times you get rejected off the level, the better. So here was 1025, 1025, 1025. It just absolutely went bananas off 1025, nearly went to 1100. Again, look at Tesla. It really needs big move. It really needs to get down somewhere into this rising 5-day for the next few days to kind of reestablish a good, wholesome, feel-good position on this thing. But beautiful move. Just an absolute monster. Again, I don't think this story has been written. I still think you'll probably get one more big aggressive push in the next couple of weeks or so based on all the big aggressive $1,100, $1,200, $1,300 near-term expiration. But I do believe it needs a little bit of a calmness to it. It needs to kind of relax a little bit for a few days or so, if not a week, and then resume its upward bias. DNA, we talked about this last night. 1490.15 needs to build. Here was DNA. Again, nice little pop, nothing crazy, but 1490.15 went to almost 1540. Again, I don't know. Is that a good thing? It's not really my thing, but is that a good thing? Got a nice little pop, 40-50 cent pop on DNA. Docu, nice pop on Docu, 281.50, 282. needs to build, and then everything else pretty much just got starting to get tired. So here's a 280, 150, 282, went all the way up to 288 and change before the market kind of reversed along with everything else. Again, it's tired. Everything is tired. First Solar, 110 needs to build, only ran up about $1. Square was really good. Square was really, really good. 265.80, 266 needs to build. Here was Square. It took out this whole 266 area, traded. I thought it was going to get to 72. It traded to 70, but a really nice move there. Definitely a good move today in Square. Even NUE, right? We talked about NUE last night on the video. NUE 110 needs to build. Here was NUE, right? Here was NUE. It took out the 110, traded to 14. That's a nice move for a steel stock. To go up 4 points is a really, really nice move there on that. I wasn't able to get Peloton 97, 80, 75, 98 needs to build. It went too thin pre-market. I was watching, I just couldn't get it. Traded up to 99 and change, and then again reversed with a lot of names. Crowd was an absolute monster. 286 needs to build. Here was Crowd, right? Here was Crowd, got upgraded today. It took out the 286. It took out 291 and it traded all the way up to 297. Just a really, really, again, some incredibly aggressive action coming into a lot of names. But again, these names are coming in off bottom or intermediate channels. Again, you don't want to reach for anything overextended. Again, it's going nuts. Got up to 299. Tesla first supply is 1060 to 1071. It went through that first supply, went to almost 1100. Docu, really nice move on Docu, went to almost 290. Square, beautiful move on Square. Again, very, very aggressive morning. Really, really aggressive morning on Square. You had NUE going up to 14. Lucid, Lucid had some call buying coming in for the 2930s short-term expiration. Only went up like 20 cents or so, and it really needs to still reclaim this 2840 level on Lucid. Here comes Square, really nice move. DNA is pushing. And again, for all you guys that took it, and again, this wasn't for me. I wasn't playing around with this thing to the downside. But Tesla, for all you guys that did take it, congratulations. I just chickened out. I don't want any excitement in my life. Big move on the way up, and then we talked about on the way down. For experienced traders only, 1034 is the line in the sand. If it builds below, can flush. It went down to like 1010, just big move up. But again, a lot of buying coming into the name. So good job. If you took it in both ways, really, really good job there as well. Like I said, 1010, 1013 support. That's exactly where it got into, and that's about it. So going into tomorrow, again, you might want to take a little step back, a little bit of a breather. Let me give you guys some names I'm kind of watching for tomorrow's session. That has nothing to do, right? It has nothing to do with beta. Let me give you guys a couple of names that I like. Eli Lilly looks good, right? Eli Lilly looks good. First close above the 50-day. If it correlates and confirms that 50-day, you might get a push. You might get a push into the upper supply. Lululemon is very close to breaking out all-time highs. Again, trades a little bit thinner. Not for everybody, but Lululemon looks really, really good. You got Goldman. You got Goldman Sachs that had a nice pop here above the 50-day moving average. Now it's very, very close to taking out this whole macro range. Keep an eye on this thing if the financials are strong. And Bitcoin futures, right? Let's talk about this really, really quickly. So the whole Bitcoin craze, some of you guys are in it, some of you guys love it, all that stuff. Obviously, the Pro Share started trading last week. I'm going to watch this thing for the next few days just because we saw near-term expiration buying coming in for the $50 calls. Obviously, it's not imminent for tomorrow, but you see how it kept on getting rejected here back-to-back days, last few days. If this thing, guys, set an alert on this top channel. If this thing starts building above this channel and Bitcoin has its next leg up, this thing might wake up and finally test the upper channel of its introductory trading day. So that's it, right, guys? That's it. Good action. Technology names, a little bit mixed, not really doing anything pre-mark after hours, but that's a good thing, right? That's a good thing. It means the sellers are comfortable at these levels. There is no selling pressure. There is no sell on the news pressure. It's a good organic rest, and that's exactly what we need in our lives. Guys, have a great night, everybody. God bless, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care.